one at a time, and we enter into the Underdark. It is dark and creepy, as the Underdark tends to be, and as we're perusing around the area, poking around things, we find a creepy poor Kenku skeleton completely destroyed. They find they, as in Ruzak, finds an opening and goes into this specific room area. And I discover a statue that is absolutely trying to kill us with psychic damage. So yeah, that was absolutely terrible. We found ourselves going back into this main room with these little pillars, which I'm assuming there's like a anaconda or something around them in like a statue form staring at us. Where Ruzak went forward and two clones of Ruzak came out and started attacking the party. It was absolutely terrifying, but we managed to get through because we are Fang Gang. And then we decided to pause briefly as we considered what is to go on next. Saya is going through a bit of a thing where she's like, God damn, I nearly died in there. We just started. Perhaps I should have heeded his warning. And that is the end of my contribution.
That's a very solid recap. Saya, thank you for that. Go ahead and take inspiration. What else you got,
gang? That's about it. I don't think there's anything to add for Dobbs.
Very good. If we have no further recaps in that case from the party, it sounds like. It seems like we're all caught up on current events in that case. But we find the party once again within the twisting labyrinth of Undermountain here, having so recently dispatched two shadowy duplicates of Ruzak. The party currently stands within this forest of pillars, the skeleton of the giant anaconda curled around the northernmost, the warning against certain death to the south being passed by the party as you begin to gaze down into the dark corridor in that same direction. Undermountain is yours, friends. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my pact feature to change the form of my bow from a short bow into a long bow.
Very good. As the weapon shifts within your hand, it comes to a more comfortable grip.
And I'm looking towards Ruzak expectantly. Well, what next, boss?
Well, fortune favors the idiotic.
I don't think we're idiotic, are we? I thought we were bold.
You clearly haven't known us long enough.
Crawl as you wish, friends.
Hello?
I'm moving. I'm sorry. I'm doing one thing.
Quick question. Given Skiddy's absence, would someone like to run Echo for the evening?
I can run a bard.
No problem. Very well.
Let me get her sheet on this thing. There we go. Is she using a D&D Beyond?
Yep.
Fuck.
In that case, I believe Echo will sit and tend her wounds and investigate the skeleton within this room and the mirrors in the hallway to the west.
The pains of using D&D Beyond for everything. Wah.
This is why there's D20 superiority.
Ruzak, as you begin to round the corner at the edge of this western hallway, you can see a couple of things. You can see mining equipment that has been scattered about the chamber here, as well as the entryway to a collapsed passage. You can see a couple pickaxes, shovels, bits of rubble that have fallen down And additionally, you can see that there is a dead goblin in a loincloth, its head caved open from behind.
Uzak, you haven't said anything. What's going on?
There appears to be some sort of mining operation up here, with an unfortunate victim of perhaps a cave-in.
Unfortunate. I don't like that, but we can't like everything in life.
Especially not down here.
Definitely not down here.
Where's the dead goblinoid?
It'll be right here at the mouth of this collapsed tunnel.
And what do we see again?
You can see a number of mining tools that have been scattered about, as well as some
Mhm.
rubble from the collapse.
Is there a way through?
It looks like it could probably be squozen through by a medium-sized creature, or easily traversed by a small one.
Okay.
Well, that looks like a tight fit for me. You want to head through, tell me what you see?
Gentle thing will elbow gobs.
Fine.
While Gobs is going ahead, I'm going to inspect the caved-in skull of the goblinoid and see if it appears consistent with a cave-in injury.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
I will help you with that. If that's okay, Ben.
Yeah, sure, if you're proficient.
I don't know. Let me check. I am not, but I
Either
did
way,
a
I rolled an
message.
Very fair.
Okay.
With an 8, you can tell it was some sort of blunt force trauma, and sufficient enough to shatter the skull. It looks like whatever it was probably a single impetus of force.
Can I look at the rocks to see if it was like a natural cave-in or if it was perhaps made of magical means?
Go ahead and make a survival check.
Hooray!
With a 16, as you look through the rubble here, you can see intermittently there are scorch marks on some of the pieces of rubble. You get the sense that there was an explosion. Whether it was arcane or whether it was artificial in nature is not something you're sure of.
Do they match the scorch marks of where the Kenku was at the opening there?
The 16 survival, you don't draw any similarities.
Okay.
I'll try and...
Let me rephrase. I shouldn't say that they are dissimilar, but I'm supposing what I'm intending to say is that with the 16, your knowledge of such a subject is not deep enough for you to be able to say one way or another.
That's fair.
Yeah, to try and... Gobs will... Gobs will cast guidance on himself, utter a quick prayer, and then try and squeeze in.
Very good. Gobs, as you begin to pick your way through the tunnel before you, you can see that it is very appropriately sized for a creature of the approximate weight, height, and width of yourself. You can see roughly worn tool marks upon the walls here, and as you begin to round the corner, you can see also what appears to be a headless statue of a nude woman, graven of stone. You can see that it is half buried in rubble at the end of the passageway that you were currently exiting from.
You said it's made out of stone, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm just trying to get a clarification on what you said. That's it. I guess Gobs will be ready to run because what happened with the last statue. But he's going to take a step into the room proper.
Very good. As you step into the room, past the statue here, you can see that there are doors both upon your west and upon your east here. You can see that they are well-made oak, bound with iron. The set on the east here are double doors.
The ones on the east you said are double?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess Gobs will go over to I guess Gobs beforehand will make a perception check to see if there's like a pressure plate or anything like that.
Where are you searching?
Mostly like towards the single door.
Sure, make a perception check. What's the rest of the party doing while this is going on?
Saya would have taken a quick moment to catch her breath, still reeling from the psychic assault that she had endured. She'll walk past General Thing and Ruzak, who are inspecting the body, and she's going to say, "I'm going to make sure Gobs is okay. If you hear me screaming in, painfully, I might be dead, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to make sure he is okay."
Gentle Thing will nod, but also playfully punch your shoulder.
With a warm smile, Saya continues into this dark and creepy space. Am I squeezing right now?
You are.
Oh, gosh.
Sucking in your gut as tight as you may as you press past the goblin-sized hole in the ground here. You emerge the other end, discovering the same features of the room. The nude and headless statue, the two doors, and Gobs with an 8. You know nothing else about the room.
Alright, Gobs will walk towards the single door.
Alright, I don't like the party being split in half, so I suppose we should follow. Clearly nothing is immediately killing them.
Can I garner any kind of symbol from the statue, or is it just a nude lady statue that has no head right now?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. If only I put proficiency in this thing.
Oh, I should not have had that donut.
Rusak having some difficulty here, large-framed creature that you are, but Bugbear's very good at squeezing in tight spaces like hall closets and underneath children's beds. So, Saya, with an 18 here, you note that there appears to be, broken off of the statue, a rather lifelike looking snake motif that is buried in the rubble.
A rather lifelike snake motif. Would it fit where the head was?
No, it looks to be about the size of a pinky. Almost like a small garden snake coiling its way up through the grass.
Saya would reach to pick it up.
As you pick it up, you find it surprisingly heavier than you first expect as the rubble shifts and you draw forth the snake-haired head of the statue, looking very much like a Medusa.
Oh. Okay. That's a thing. Would this be anything pertaining to any religion that she might know?
Go ahead and make a religion check.
Cool.
None that you're familiar with. Whatever gods these creatures worship, Medusa in particular, that is, unknown to you, if any.
No one said anything to Gob, so Gob's just gonna open this door.
Very
Or
good.
at least he's gonna attempt to.
As you press the door open, Gobs, you can see a tunnel another similar looking door at the other end.
Okay, this is definitely a trap. You do.
Saya, holding the head really quick, is just going to say, do you think I should put it back on or just leave it off to the side?
Leave it for now.
She'll gently place the head beside the statue and join her buddies.
Can anyone do something? The most I can do right here is a rock. Something's up here. I don't trust this. I don't trust hallways anymore. Not sensuality.
I could throw you.
Gentle Thing goes to grab one of Gob's arms and looks at Ruzok.
I'm just gonna shove past Gobs with my 10-foot pole, and I'll start sounding out the hallway.
Sounding.
Yes, as you begin to tap out the 10-foot pole in squares in front of you, in order to thoroughly search an area in a 10 by 10 foot cube, that would be 10 minutes of your time. Assuming you're just doing the floor, then you can get up to the full 60 feet, I believe. Taking about 10 minutes to search the entire hallway.
Wait, I forgot I had an item. Govs is going to go back to the front of the hallway and activate his Wand of Secrets.
Super. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see, Gobs. The wand pulses, a charge expended, but it does not point in any direction nearby.
Alright, so the first 30 feet are fine.
That thing only goes 30 feet.
The first 30 feet are fine.
I will walk the first 30 feet and then start sounding out the ground.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check in that case.
Can I assist, saying that's what the wand was also doing? Help action.
Sure, why not?
I rolled worse.
Very nice. With a 10, Ruzok, you discover no pitfalls, no traps, no pressure plates, at least nothing obvious.
Alright, we're good.
I feel like we don't want him to go too far. Alright.
Come on, you guys. Don't be so afraid.
Yeah,
If we die here, we die here. And I die in debt.
This is definitely going to turn into a ramp or something. I don't know. I feel like something is going to happen. This might just be a hallway.
It could just be a hallway. It could just be a hallway.
Just remember when we're running out, let me go first, alright?
The door here, similarly constructed, oak, banded with iron, no obvious keyholes.
Is there like a knob on it, or is it just flat wood?
There's a knob on it.
I'm gonna try and very slowly open it as subtly as you can open a massive oak door.
Very good. The door slides open, and almost immediately a moldering smell hits your nose, the source of which becomes rather obvious as you gaze toward the alcove in front of you. You can see the skeletons of dozens and dozens of humanoids having been swept up into a great ossuary, their bones collecting both dust and a vibrant green mold.
I'm going to hold her breath here.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Can Gobs do some sort of hack? See if he could see any sign of something bringing / putting these here, or like leaving these here or something.
Sure, go ahead and make a survival check.
Can help you.
You okay?
I'm proficient in it. I can help you.
Okay, that. Oh,
The 12.
yeah,
You do not know. You do not note any signs of tracking upon the ceiling or upon the walls. You do notice that the bones have almost universally been very well gnawed. However,
okay, so there are like, so I can tell something bit these, so to speak, or at least not on them. All right. Okay. Good news. Probably not a slime.
Yeah, well, I'm getting past these.
Ruzak, as you press your way further into the chamber, it looks to be a makeshift prison. You can see manacles dangling from walls, sideboards shackled to the floor. To the far end, you can see that another door leads to a chamber to the north.
Nobody's in the shackles, correct?
Not from your current purview. You do not hear any sounds of struggling or breathing within the chamber either with your passive perceptions.
Yeah, I don't like how you add that. That makes me think there's somebody struggling or breathing in this chamber.
As it should.
We can throw a pebble in there. Wait, do any of us actually need light?
I can see in darkness perfectly.
Gentle thing, Ruzak, as you round the corner, you can see not living, but hanging from rusted manacles on the back wall of that eastern alcove, you can see that there is a tiefling skeleton, evident by its horns, missing its legs. Does anyone speak Infernal?
No.
Well, in that case,
Surprisingly, I don't.
the party would be able to make note of writing in Infernal upon the wall above it, looking as though it was written in ash or charcoal. Yet it would be unintelligible to your eyes.
Does anyone have any paper?
I don't have paper, but if we wait 10 minutes, I could get some a magic sense.
I can
device
conveniently
first.
write it down. I have parchment and a pen with me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you'll do that. Yeah.
Is magic sense like...
It's a tech magic.
But does it use a spell slot?
If I do 10 minutes, no.
Okay.
But I'd have to ritual cast it.
Okay. And it's only 10 minutes?
It will last for 10 minutes, but it will be 30 feet of...
But to ritually cast, isn't it going to take an hour?
No, it takes 10 minutes to cast a ritual spell
And it will
when you're
last
not using it as a spell slot.
And
Okay.
I can concentrate it up for 10 minutes as well.
Well, if we want to take the 10 minutes, we could do that, and then we can also investigate the rest of the room to see if there's anything hidden in here. Because that would also take 10 minutes. For example, we can have someone investigate this corner. Gobs can investigate the writing. Someone can investigate this corner, and someone can investigate this corner, and that would all take 10 minutes, and then it's all happening at the same time.
I will say it is blocked by 1 foot of stone and 1 inch of common metal. But if there's any lead, it will not work. So it's more or less of a direct line of sight, more or less. It can penetrate slightly, though.
Sure. I say we just try it, and we each pick a corner, and we each do a little investigation or something.
After Saya brings out her parchment, she can't really write Infernal, but she'll copy the scrawls to the best of her ability, after which she'll peek over in this corner over here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Gobs will be in the center of the room because the tech magic is 30-foot radius, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Then Gabos will be in the center of the room. So once his little device activates, uh, he'll be able to just detect most of the stuff out immediately.
Very well. Before your device activates, as we spend 10 minutes engaged in the material and verbal components of ritual casting, minor explosions and the sounds of gobs swearing and conducting percussive maintenance upon this device ringing throughout the hallway. Let's have an encounter die. D12, please.
Ruzak, you have you have to be the one to do it.
Why do I have to be the one to do it?
You're the guy.
You're the one right now.
You're the dude. You're the guy.
Very good. Nothing other than the sounds of progress being made. Nothing else disturbs you during this 10 minutes. At the end of that time, you do not discover anything that is magical within 30 feet that is currently notable to you. As for Saya,
Alright.
Gentle Thing, Ruzak, your investigations of the room turn out not much more than you have initially seen here. You get the sense that this prison has been employed before, as you can see scratchings upon the walls nearby most of the sets of manacles, very likely having been caused by unfortunate prisoners. As for the body of the tiefling itself, it looks to be rather old, and the ossification of the skeleton greatly advanced.
Hey, things uh working.
One more time.
Things working. I don't detect any magic, at least not immediately within it, so at very least there's no magic traps in this room. The writing isn't magical, so this room is purely physical from what I can detect. Right. Yeah.
Then on to the next, I suppose.
I guess Dobbs will join Ruzak in leading the charge. While he has his thing up.
Is this a similar thick wooden door?
Indeed.
Don't detect any magic behind it.
Not behind it, no.
All right.
Check the wording on the
It's
magic.
3 feet. 3 feet of wood.
I guarantee you Hallister built his doors that big.
I want to step to the side there. I think this thing opens inward.
Very good. Ruzak pressing the door open.
Yeah.
As the door is pressed open, immediately you note a couple of things. 2 stone pillars, a 10-foot wide arch between them supporting a 20-foot high ceiling. Additionally, you can see that near the base of each pillar, the skeletal remains of 2 orcs, a couple of rusted weapons upon the ground nearby them. And additionally, Gobs, your detect magic notes a aura of wild magic that is suffusing the space between the 2 pillars.
Is there an... Okay. Yeah, I see the other pillar now. Is it the... Okay. Can you just ping in the area? Like what you mean?
Yeah, there is a lingering aura of wild magic that suffuses the area between the 2 pillars here.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. And other question. Does it look like the skeletal orcs dropped dead or just died? If that makes sense.
You need to approach them and conduct some degree of autopsy in order to draw any conclusions on that.
Okay. Gauss will say, Gauss will, I'm going in. Then I'll move 5 feet in. Then 5 more feet. And there's wild magic in between the pillars. We might be able to just ignore it, but it is here. So there's that.
Do you know what it is, at least? Or is it just strange, wild magic?
I don't. I know it's wild magic.
Is it of any use?
That's not up. That's not my decision. That is more or less fate's.
Well, if we don't have any use for it at the moment, we should probably leave it be. Where are the bodies of the orcs?
One at the base of either pillar.
And do they look more recent than the prison bodies, or just as old?
Let's make a medicine check. The 17, they appear to be more recent. Definitely not afflicted by the dusts of age, but they're skeletons. They didn't die here recently. You can also see with the 17, based upon some of the wounds upon the creature's bodies, or rather upon the creature's limbs, that it appears they probably died in battle. At least, unless this guy could survive having his shoulder blade completely cloven through and was just walking around like that.
Do we try and ignore them, or do we investigate a little more? Because I'm fine with either option.
Investigate how?
I could magically charge a rock and throw it through.
Is this something that we want to spend time on, playing with some random magic?
No.
Then I advise we continue moving then and just make a mental note of this random magic. You see as Saya's quickly scribbling in, like, we have found a weird thing of wild magic. About an hour into our journey.
Write that it's in the corner room above so we know where it is.
She's making that note.
Well, I concur. I don't think we should spend any time on it if there's no
All right.
direct usefulness.
Let's go then. This spell won't last long anyway, so it would be kind of best to hurry.
And I will crack open the northern door.
Very good. As you crack it open, you can see a small U-shaped hallway that appears to curve off to the north.
Do you want me to take it, or because
I'll go. This one's not as big, or not as small, rather.
Let's see. Gentle thing, passive perception.
Passive perception 16.
Very nice. Rizak, as you begin to approach the door, gentle thing's ears begin to twitch slightly. You can hear a very dull chanting, distant, coming from somewhere within the chamber beyond. It sounds to you like the voices of children? Hooligans? You're not quite sure. You're too far away to tell.
All right. That's not ominous in any sort. Do we all wish to stay this current route?
Yep.
There's no point turning back now.
All right, I will open the eastern door.
Very good. As the door opens to the east, almost immediately, you can feel the grease upon its handle as you look at the rather filthy and tarnished latch. As you open the door to the beyond, you can almost immediately begin to hear a very dull sound coming from a chorus of very vicious sounding voices. Nim, Wraith, Nim, Wraith, Nim, Wraith! Coming from somewhere off to the north.
What were they saying?
Sounded like Nim Wraith, whatever that is.
Ooh, is this gonna be our first cult?
Hmm. Suppose there's only one way to go.
We can all run pretty fast if we need to get away, right?
I can run faster than you.
That's all that matters.
Can you just take it? Can you just take it? Nope, I don't need it for the moment, thank you. I don't need it for the moment, thank you. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry, where were we?
We just turned into the hallway. The
Very good.
chanting.
Yes, you can see a number of ingresses to the east. You're not entirely sure where it's coming from, but the echoing sound circulates through these hallways, coming from somewhere to the north here.
Alright. Gobbs takes out a silver piece and flips it. Let's heads first one, tails second one.
I say we take the first one so we don't get pincered.
Tails it is, second one.
I would like to overrule that coin.
Yeah, Gentle Thing would like to smack the coin right out of your fucking hand.
Gobbs will take his crossbow and just point it straight at you. Give me my money back.
Gentle Thing will point to it on the floor and tell you to pick it up. Your damn self.
Gobbs, like a kid that's trying to be cool and hold a shotgun, but it's still a little too heavy for them, is still holding it and then bending down and picking it up, and then puts it in his pocket, then drops the crossbow around his back.
Like a kid who's trying to be cool holding a shotgun.
Yeah,
It makes
that's really cool. I've seen lots of kids do that.
I'm
for
texting,
sure.
so I'm texting. It makes sense to me.
Uzak, as you begin to press your way north here, in addition to that chanting of Nim, Wraith, Nim, Wraith, you can begin to hear shrieking and discordant conversation in a gobblish tongue. A little bit too far away and too garbled for you to figure out what's being said, but you can hear at least half a dozen voices or so engaged in chanting and fervent conversation.
I don't suppose I know what Nimwraith means.
No, you definitely wouldn't. Definitively
All right.
not.
Do the voices sound goblinoid, if that makes sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Alright. What if voices have like a goblinoid accent? Could me and Ruzak go in, so might be hesitant for something to immediately happen?
We all speak Goblin here.
Saya, what's your passive perception?
So,
Saya?
No, I don't speak Goblin.
Oh.
And what's your passive perception, Saya?
13.
You got it. Give me just a second here. Very good. So, as you begin to round the corner, Abruptly, the party hears a rather loud call coming in Gobblish from behind them. Immediately, as you hear the sound of the voice, easily intelligible by each of you who speak this language, saying, "Intruders! To arms, warg I!" Make an insight check, Ruzak.
Oh.
Ruzak with advantage.
Oh.
Anybody who speaks Gobblish, though, welcome to make an insight check.
I want to make an insight check.
Let's see, that is a 15, a 20, and an 18. So, Ruzak, the first thing that you would notice is that the eyes of the bugbears before you are rather blank looking. The speech very strained. The next thing that you would note, gentle thing, is that their posture is unusually rigid, almost as though they're unused to the lanky limbs that their bodies possess. And finally, what you would notice with the 20 is that these creatures are covered with on their shaved heads with tattoos characteristic of the Xanathar gang. The 8-spoked eyeball glaring down at you, just like these creatures. Immediately as that happens, you can begin to hear the sounds of the chanting to the north die off, as you hear a very similar response coming from the east and to the north. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative here, shall we?
Yay.
Delicious. Oh, come on. Am I yet to get an initiative above 10?
I think you got an 11 once.
Hey, just more time to plan out your moves. Very good. Gentle thing. With a 21 here, you have won the initiative. Immediately, you see that Ruzak's fears have manifest. It was bugbears earlier, and you are apparently being pinned in if the sounds of Gobblish voices to the north and to the east are any indication. What would the party like to do?
I think I would like to not get too close, but I would say in Goblin, not necessarily. I think I would say how can we be intruders if we knocked first?
What?
Let me try it. Be quiet. Let me try.
Make a deception check, I guess.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
You deserve to roll snake eyes here.
Be quiet. Love me.
Good.
So harsh.
With an 11, you see the creatures looking back toward you and in unison replying, "You are not invited by the master. What is your purpose in this place?" And let's see, that's about all the time for talk there is, unless you also want to devote your action to communication here.
I will. And I will use my action to say, I didn't know you had a master. If you want, we could just leave and come back later when he's available.
Stop talking.
Oh my god. Let's see. With that, the creature's gonna look back at you and say, "What homage do you owe to the Great Eye? What tribute do you bring?"
Um. Gentle thing will point to Gobs.
No.
If you die, I'm turning you into a pelt.
I think that's about all the. Make one more deception check for me, gentle thing, with advantage.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna roll an insight check here with advantage. Oh, that was a 15 on the die. I don't know why it's rolling to GM, but with that, they look back and forth to each other, and then say, "We have more than enough goblins here already." Gentle thing, that is going to conclude your turn for the time being. You can see the bugbears beginning to approach cautiously, clubs drawn, but not bursting into a sprint or anything. From the north, you can hear that sound of Nim, Wraith, Nim, Wraith, continually being chanted even as goblins take to arms. You see that the lead goblin making its way out of the corridor here is not bearing a weapon, but instead is bearing a 10-foot long pole that has what looks like a human skeleton that has been sewn together with golden thread in order to maintain the integrity of its bones. As he shakes it back and forth, he says, Nim, Wraith, Nim, Wraith, as he shakes the effigy in your direction. Gobs, that's going to bring us to you. Just based upon the sounds of the numbers here and upon your party's current position, you're beginning to sweat a little bit as these two bugbears, burly as they are, every bit as burly or burlier than Ruzok, begin to glance in your direction, and you can hear the sounds of many pattering feet from the north.
All right. I'm not gonna get cornered again. All right, let's make some bacon. And then he points his crossbow and fires a flame bolt, a flame enhanced bolt of energy out of it. I cast flame bolt.
All right.
At what?
The goblin on the corner of the entrance to the hallway.
This goblin here? Okay, the bugbear. Very good.
Yeah, the bugbear.
One's going to hit. Roll damage. 3 points of damage as you catch this guy upon his forearm with a little burst of that alchemical fire. He looks toward it and says, An offense toward the master's servants is also punishable by death. As he is definitely making his way in your direction now, Gobs. Anything else in your turn?
Does sound like it's coming from the south?
Make me a perception check.
20.
With a 20, you can also hear the sounds of forces mobilizing to the south. The characteristic hushed and whispered conversation of goblins attempting to be stealthy.
Okay, in that case, Gobs will yeah, Gobs doesn't really have anywhere to go, so he will yes. Yeah, just stay there.
You got it. That's going to bring us for a bugbear on 17, which immediately is going to rush its way up toward Gobs here, rather vengefully, provoking the opportunity attack from Saya.
So they completely ignored me, and
Gobs shot fire at him.
Gobs hit first.
oh gosh, I will not hit them.
You got it, Saya. You just watch that go past like a freight train. You're like, nah, that's not my ticket. I'm gonna catch the next one. The bugbear swings toward Gobs with the Morning Star, a 23 to hit for 9 points of piercing damage. Very good. The bugbear looks toward you and says, "Goblins, annoying. Enough. Fiery goblins, unacceptable." That's going to bring us to another goblin on 13, who begins to round the corner, taking a moment to get himself juiced up in front of the Nimwraith statues. He begins to bob back and forth in a similar time, and then lets out a scream and throws himself bodily toward Ruzak here, attempting to stab him. It's going to be 8 missing with the scimitar attack here. Another goblin begins to make its way out, briefly doing a little jig, pulling on its ears in a frenzied motion in front of the Nimwraith totem, and then rushing up toward Gobs here, sensing weakness already, beginning to hope to earn some favor from his bugbear master. That's going to be a critical strike on the scimitar here. Natural 20 for 11 points of slashing damage.
Alright.
Very good.
Still up?
Goblin running you through from behind as it whispers in your ear. It says, "I eat your heart. Take your fire." That's gonna bring us to Ruzak here. You know the stream's live if you want to verify the rolls. These fucking Undermountain pages are just busted though. Yeah, whatever. At 20 your ass. Ruzak, what would you like to do?
I have a plan if you can stay there for one more round.
Your last plan went so well, though. Can I look at the goblins? Do I sense... This is a weird thing to do in combat, and I don't know if I can or not, but do I sense, like... Are they loyal because... clearly the bugbears are the leaders. Are they loyal because of a united cause? Are they, like, slave warriors?
Make me a history check. With a 15, you understand naturally as a bugbear the general disposition of a goblish horde, which is that goblins, amongst the lowest ranked of goblinoids, tend to really have, even maybe gobs withstanding, 2 basic emotions, which is subservient fear or sadistic joy over anything that they find themselves stronger than. That said, for that reason, you get the sense that these goblins would probably very happily kill you, but if you kill the bugbears who are in charge, that would deal a serious blow to morale. That said, something that is also very obvious is that these goblins are hyped the fuck up about whatever is going on with Nimwraith over there.
Nimwraith! Okay.
Oh, we need our charismatic one here.
I tried my best.
Yeah, you just tried to offer up gobs as an offering. Anyway. I don't want to be here. Can I use my object interaction to open the southern door?
You may, if you wish.
I wish.
Very good. As you press the door open to the south, immediately you see at least a half dozen armed goblins in the room that look back and forth to each other and then begin hurling themselves in your direction.
Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, guys.
Probably a good
it
idea.
Slightly problematic. Ruzak, what would you like to do next?
Slightly?
I'm going to use either my bonus action or my action, or both, whatever it takes, to close that door.
Got you. Can you bonus action Mage Hand as an Arcane Trickster now?
I don't think so.
You have Mage Hand Letterman. I'm pretty sure that's the thing about it.
Although that door is going to be heavier than 10 pounds anyway. I'm not even sure why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd like to use an action, you can object interaction close the door, no problem.
No, it is a bonus action to move the hand,
Ah,
but you still need an action
that makes
to
sense.
cast it. So yeah, I will use my action to close the door,
Very good.
and then I will bonus action disengage, and I will stand in front of the door. Wait, which way did it open? Did it open towards me or towards the room?
For convenience's sake, I will say that it opened toward you.
Then I'll stand in front of the door,
You got it.
and then it'll be my turn.
You got it. You got it. 1 moment.
So many goblins.
Hilarious. Ruzok, that's a great turn. That's gonna bring us to 1,000,000 goblins in a row. Give me just a sec.
I like how we started by shitty talking, and then after the shitty talking, we're like, okay, well, maybe we could still talk our way out of it. So Gob's like, yeah, fuck it.
Another goblin comes hurling itself into the front line after taking a moment to moon the statue of Nimwraith, or the skeleton of Nimwraith behind it. It then throws itself into battle trying to bite out your neck. That's going to be a 9 to hit, which misses Ruzok. Bringing us to our goblin on 8. Immediately, you just begin to feel a thump, 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 thump coming from the southern door here. Go ahead and make a strength check or an athletics check at advantage, as I assume that you're bracing that door.
I am certainly doing that.
Very good. The advantage coming from your large frame here. That's going to be a 16 for the goblin here.
Yeah, I got a 14.
14, the first goblin comes barreling through on the very first attempt with the bonus action to dash. As it comes rushing into the room, weapon drawn, it looks around, scuttling between your legs for a moment, and then looking toward the skeleton and going, Nimwraith? Yeah, Nimwraith! Nimwraith! And then he tries to stab you. That's an 8 to hit. Gonna miss here. Our bugbear here on 7 is going to make its way up toward Gentle Fang.
That's not nice.
It's really not, but it's going to make its way up toward you, and is going to ready an action as it holds its Morning Star aloft, looks toward you in Goblish, and says, "Subdue the servant, and pay a tribute." That's going to be his turn as he readies that action. A bunch of other goblins, let's see, completely hyped up off of whatever Nimwraith is doing. He has a short bow, but in his current Nimwraith frenzy, he's not going to use it. He's going to squeeze into the area next to Gobs and try to stab him at disadvantage. That is going to be a 12 at disadvantage, missing. Goblin on 6 here, taking a bonus action to dash, is going to do the exact same thing as you see Gob's familiar form disappearing into the tiny tangle of limbs here. Once again at disadvantage, that's going to be a 14 to hit.
Hit. Just hit.
14 just hits for 4 points of slashing damage in that case.
Still up.
Very good. Ruzok, you see more and more goblinoids just beginning to swarm the field here. The next most of which hacks at you with a scimitar with a 15 to hit. I think that misses.
Misses.
Very good. That's going to bring us to another goblinoid here. Bonus action dash and closing you into the ranks here entirely. Swinging with the scimitar, another 14 missing. It's going to bring us to Saya.
How high are these ceilings?
The ceilings here are always the width of the passage. So in this case, it's going to be 10-foot high ceiling, 10-foot wide passage. The ceilings open up into the larger rooms, of course, though.
Okay. Can someone give me a visual representation of what a 10-foot cube looks like?
That's 4 squares.
4 squares. So, gosh.
They're 2 squares above the bugbears, if that's what you're asking.
2 squares above the
I mean,
bugbears.
there's a square above the bugbear if you wanted to stand there.
The reason why is I want to use Fey Presence, and it says you cause each creature in a 10-foot cube originating from you to do its thing. So I'm like, how does that look?
So you can start a 10-foot cube at whatever portion of you. So I think you should be able to do it like this if you want, if I'm correct, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has to face one side of you.
Has to face one side of me. Can I move 5 feet up along the wall, going along the side to be above Gentle Thing, to give the biggest possible area to try and spread this off to?
I don't think that gets you a better target, does it? You get 2 bugbears and a goblin from that old position, and with new positioning here, you could get what? 3 goblins and Ruzak, or bugbear, goblin, Ruzak, and gobs?
You're probably right.
2
Worst
bugbears
case-
and a goblin's what I'd go for. Also, I don't think it lets you choose allies, so maybe Gentle Thing will be afraid of you.
Yeah,
It,
I could
it
be
do-
terrified.
it doesn't say you have choice, so it is one of the ones that affects allies as well.
Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to use Fey Presence to attempt to charm all those things
It's gonna be a
from where I'm
15
at.
on
2
our goblin,
bugbears and a goblin.
and that's gonna be
And me.
an 8 and a 9 on our bugbear. The bugbears, their limbs slacken for a second, as they look toward you with adoration. 2 bugbears charmed here.
Okay. Just holding her hips off to the side is. Oh, come on. Do we even look like we're reasonable tribute, as pretty as we are?
The bugbear just drools a little bit as it gazes toward you. Is a DC 14 save?
Yes.
Very good. Gentle Thing, you are not charmed at all.
It'd be funny if she was. But,
Gentle Thing rolls her eyes at you.
What about that goblin, huh?
Yeah, what about
Oh,
this
goblin save.
this little guy?
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you.
All right. I'm going to then start backing up and whispering to Gentle Thing, we gotta get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
As Saya begins to beat a retreat, it looks like more goblinoids begin to make their appearance from the south. As you can hear, it's almost like a game of telephone, as you can hear them from up north going, Nimwraith! 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 And they just start sprinting in the direction of the insanity. Our goblin here is going to take a shot through 3/4 cover toward Ruzak. An 18 with 3/4, I think, still misses Ruzak with an AC 16. And our final goblin
Correct.
here on initiative 3 is going to come up and is going to attempt the exact same thing, doing anything they can to draw blood in this situation. That's going to be a 16 missing, and that's going to bring us back to Gentle Thing. Gentle Thing, you can see the... let me double check the charm condition here real quick. One moment.
Yeah, it's always one of those things that's confusing me too. Don't worry.
I think it only
Charmer,
affects
just the charmer.
Saya. Yeah.
Very good. Gentle Thing, you can see the bugbears looking absolutely love-stricken in the direction of the departing Saya as they look toward you and say, one of them looks to the other and says, "You keep them here. I bring her back." What would you like to do, Gentle Thing?
Gentle Thing will say, call off the Nimwraith and call off your goblin horde, and I will control our goblin in Goblish.
You got it. Make your choice of a persuasion or deception check here. I'm gonna say at disadvantage, given how much the bargaining position has shifted in the past round.
Alright, I'll do it anyways.
With a 13, okay, let me see here how they feel about that in the current condition. Especially given that they both want to depart in the direction of Saya. I'm gonna have them roll wisdom save, or insight checks rather, at disadvantage. It's gonna be an 11. The bugbears look toward each other for a moment of confusion, and the other one says, "Fighting might hurt the pretty one, I guess." They begin to whistle, I can't whistle, at the top of their lungs, as the chanting of Nimwraith is almost cut off. A couple of stragglers getting cuffs behind the ear as the bugbear looks, as combat comes to a brief cessation here. You guys know that the charm here is only going to last for about another 6 seconds or so. So the way you guys choose your next words and actions is very important. You guys have bought yourself a pause of the combat for exactly 1 round as you see the bugbears begin to lope off in the direction of Saya. What's everyone else doing?
My first
Uh,
action is going to be getting to the eastern side to where I'm not in between 50,000 goblins.
Well, that's going to be fortunate for you because the bugbears begin to basically just run off after Saya. Not sprinting, but with those long limbs just kind of walking up. So, you come to Undermountain a lot, or gentle thing as you begin to move in that direction as well. It looks like giving way to Ruzak.
Yeah.
Dobbs will start moving that direction, but he says, oh, if you have something else, go.
As I'm walking, I'm gonna try and sign to everybody in Thieves' Cant, follow,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna walk right here, and I'm gonna wait for everybody to respond. And if Saya, I assume Saya doesn't know Thieves' Cant, so I'm just gonna give the nod.
I don't think Gobs knows Thieves Can't either.
I don't. I only know Goblin.
I ain't no rogue, buddy. If you one of you two want to teach me like Thieves Can't in downtime, sure.
I'm giving you guys the nod. Like, come on.
Gobbs sets down a pebble, a fart pebble.
Nice.
The goblins immediately going to fight over it.
All right.
Saya?
As you see, she nervously looks at you with those orcs oogling. No, orcs. Bugbears oogling over her.
I'm nodding towards the north.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I guess that's about as far as you guys get before the charm wears off on the bugbears here. And
The charm lasts until the end of my next turn.
yeah, and I just gave everyone that time in order to act, and I did not see you do anything. If you want to do something here, go for it.
Okay. When it comes to be my turn, I'm sorry, I didn't know we were kind of letting all that go. She would gently trace a hand on the face of this one bugbear. It's like, excuse me, darling, I really had to get through. She's going to go through the other one. It's like, don't worry, I might come back later. That's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I'm going to look over to Ruzak, and I'm going to just start bolting.
And because I haven't used my action yet, I'm going to use my action and cast Fog Cloud.
Very nice. Around the time the fog cloud begins to emanate upon the field here, which I'm not sure if I have a token for that right now. Fog cloud. Yeah, I did import them. Nice. So, as the fog cloud begins to emanate upon the field here, shrouding you all within mist, that's about the same time that you begin to hear the bugbears in front of you say, "Oh, it was really nice to meet you. Wait a minute. Intruders!" Straight back to it as we begin to roll through initiative here once again. Essentially bring this back to Gentle Thing at the top of the round.
All right. Gentle Thing is going to keep her hand on the wall to guide her, and she is also going to go to the north. And she is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and use her action to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Okay, that's my turn, I think.
Indeed.
Hey, we know that hallway.
As you
Awesome.
begin eastward, you see a very familiar-looking environment. The mirrored hallway that you came through so recently. Gentle Thing, is that your turn?
That's it. Yep.
Very good. That brings us to the incipient gobblish hordes as they continue to scramble along the corridor. The one holding the Nimwraith statue, just looks back to his allies for a second as they look in confusion toward the fog cloud. Almost experimentally, he takes a moment to lean the skeleton in and pull it back out, looking at the bones for any sort of harm. He looks back toward the goblins and then Nimwraith charges into the mist himself, continuing to chant as he does so, leading the charge. That brings us to Gobs.
What I would do for Fireball right now.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
This would be the dirtiest fucking hypnotic pattern of my lifetime.
Like, I am so tempted to just fairy fire, but I know it's not the right move. All right. Gobs will sidestep Ruzak. Okay. Then 5, and then dash 1, 2, 6.
I just realized I could move 35 feet. I'm an idiot.
And then yeah, I guess that's it.
You got it. It's going to bring us to our bugbear on 17. Lumbering in the direction of Saya, reaching out to grapple the very first thing that it encounters here, which in this case would be Ruzak, as he sees your silhouette through the mist, unsure who those luscious locks belong to. That's going to be a grapple from the bugbear here, coming out at a 13.
I can acrobatics to resist, or is that just escape?
You can acrobatics to resist.
Use my inspiration.
Go for it.
It's a damn good thing I did, because the other one was a 2.
You very nimbly slip from his grasp here, bringing us to the fervent hordes here. More goblins pressing their way in, crowding the corridors as they take dash actions, hurtling along after their bugbear masters. Our goblin here is going to run straight after the Nimwraith wielder, using a bonus action to dash as he comes rushing up, taking a hack toward the shrouded form of Ruzak within the fog here. That's going to be 2 natural ones for a 5, completely missing. Our goblin here on 13 comes rushing up, aiming directly for the kneecaps, Ruzak. That's going to be a 15 to hit, which I think misses you.
Correct.
Very good. And you hear one lone straggler joining the game of Nimwraith as you hear his voice join the back of the pack there, and that'll bring us to Ruzak.
Okay, I'm going to bonus action disengage, action dash. Gives me 60 feet. 5, 50. Means I can get right up to here. And I'll just say, we're going to have to run through it. And that'll be my turn.
Very good. That's going to bring us to our goblin here on 8, which, using a bonus action to dash, comes rushing up out of the fog, screaming Nimwraith, as you can see these creatures are still hot on your heels, swiftly as they might. This next one getting a little bit further in line. And Saya, you hear the thump, 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 pounding limbs of the bugbear that comes dashing after you, using his last 5 feet to position himself between you and Gobs. Let's see more goblins here beginning to pour out of the fog.
Stop.
I can't, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Let's see here. Saya, that brings us to you. You can hear the sound of the approaching horde hot on your trail.
And Saya's like, achoo! As they cast Misty Step, as a glittery puff of smoke appears before this guy, and she's going to. How far exactly can Saya see right now? I see everyone's vision, but how far can I see?
Let's measure that. You can see into that alcove, and you can see somewhere to the north here.
All right. I am going to go into that alcove and just, oh gosh. You couldn't have taught me a better way to do that, Erisand. And she's going to start moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dashing. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Just moving.
Very good. Let's see. Just double checking. Saya, you carry no form of illumination.
No, I do not.
As you see Saya pass through the hall, sprinting straight past the burnt torch stub, you see the subtle shifting of forms within the mirrors, yet devoid of any illumination within the room, they lack the energy to manifest themselves beyond the frames of that dimension. It's going to bring us to the remainder of our goblins, the chanting of Nimwraith, Nimwraith, echoing through the hallways here, as more and more of these vicious creatures take the field.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have my dancing lights anymore, thanks to my fog cloud.
It is indeed, actually. That's going to bring us back to Gentle Thing at the top of the round.
Gentle Thing is also going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
As you come rushing into the room, Sai and Gentle Thing, you can just see Echo looking up perkily from her songbook saying, "Oh, hello, friends. I've actually just finished working on a new... What's that behind you?" And that's going to bring us to... Sorry, anything else, Gentle Thing?
Nope.
Solid. That's going to bring us to a number of goblins here, doing their thing. Gobs, it's a lot more intimidating when they are approximately the same height as you as well.
Slightly taller.
Indeed. What would you like to do? You can see the form of the bugbear, slightly singed, looking toward you with a murderous intent.
Gob realizes, alright, I need some defense. And Cha and just takes a vial out of his pocket, throws it back, and just is covered in this weird iridescent mucus. I cast Sanctuary as a bonus action, and then want to dash through.
Very good. I love the premise that your Sanctuary spell is Gobs becomes too sticky to touch. Very good. So, as you go dashing through, here, Gobs, past the shadowy duplicates, you can see them each taking different forms as they, your own form, from Gentle Things, from Sias. Again, lacking the energy to manifest here within the dark chamber. That's, anything else from you? Bugbear here is going to go ahead and try to take its swing. Nope, with a 5 on the wisdom save, he is not going to succeed on that. Goblin's going to do the same thing. So, anything else on your turn, Gobs?
So you could get right next to Gentle Thing, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. That's my action, bonus action. No. I think that's it.
You got it. With that, you can hear the voice of the other bugbear come barreling up out of the fog. As he sees his cousin beginning to move in the direction of Ruzok, you hear a sharp reprimand saying, "No! Not through the mirror hole! You remember what happened last time!" The other bugbear looks back and then looks toward Ruzok for one more moment, unsure what to do. A number of other goblins come pouring up through the fog here.
I'm gonna use here with 10 more feet of movement, and then I'm going to well, I guess I'll just stay here. Because if I pick up Gobs, then I won't have an action to dash. So I'll just stay here.
Very good. Ruzak, good turn. With that, let's see. You're going to hear the sounds of Let's see. The goblins cease advancing. The bugbear on the front here, however, is going to move around and with that powerful arm take one last stab at you from Hell's Heart, hurling the javelin in its hand in your direction as far as it may. That's going to be a 7, missing, as the javelin sails past your head. With that, though, you see the general retreat being sounded as the goblins, peering at you from around the corner of this hallway, look cautiously as your party freely traverses this trapped hallway. After a moment, you hear the general call to retreat and the disappearing sounds of Nim Wraith being chanted victoriously in return.
Get me out of this hallway.
The party reconvenes here within the chamber of the Pillar Forest.
Okay. That happened. That totally happened, yes. Oh.
Hey, at least we know a cheap and fast way to get a workout.
Well, I don't know about you all, but we've done some scouting. I'm ready to return to the...
That's what I was trying to say. Please, let's go.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Hey, Echo, you seem to be in some sort of trance. Let me push you towards the lift.
She looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just wondering what rhymes with Goblin Horde. Throbbing Sword? But I don't think it's that kind of song."
Chopping board.
There you go, that's a good one. So, is the party pressing their way back toward the lift of the Yawning Portal here?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Give me just one moment here. Very good. As the party backtracks here, past the secret chamber, past the skeletonized Kanku, and into that ankle-deep, sand-filled chamber, the many shields lined upon the wall, bits of adventuring detritus discarded within the sands. You can see, of course, the old rope that Durnan runs to the bottom of this place. You know the bucket is somewhere up there. From what you've seen,
All right, now everybody look as victorious as possible when you come up.
And you can see Saya, who's like, her hair's a little greasy from running, and she's... Okay, I'll try.
You just see Gobs covered in fucking blood.
That doesn't have to be your blood.
Theirs get worse.
It would smell delicious for a few moments, but
Hey,
then,
Echo, you
absolutely-
have some spell slots. Maybe you should heal God.
Echo says, "I'm so sorry. I actually spent every single one of them on, just self-care today. It was a self-care day."
You know what? I fully understand self-care.
We're trying to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's fine. I bullshit. I make healing potion and shoot it back.
Very good. Gob's taking a moment to throw one back, a little pre-gaming before we head back to the bar itself. As the party tugs on the rope here, after a moment, the bucket is slowly drawn down into the sand. Already you can hear a number of inquiring cheers and jeers coming from the tap room a couple 100 feet above. After a moment, though, the bucket descends. You know that it's really only good for one trip at a time. Who would like to make the first one?
Gobs hops in. The
Scobs.
moment he can't.
Very good. As Gobs hops into the bucket here, you are drawn up by the winch into the darkness, up into the inquiring eyes of the citizens of Waterdeep, gazing at you from all corners, coinage being shifted about as people either cheer or bemoan your return. Who's next?
Echo.
Very good. Echo makes her way up, already beginning to strum a few, not strum, rather, already beginning to reel a few chords upon her violin, joining the already ongoing music up within the tap room above. Who's next?
Saya.
No, she'll point at Gentle Thing.
What? Okay, I'll go. I'll go and go to those people and fucking hold out my hand for my money. That's what I'll fucking do. I made it back.
Very good, Gentle Thing. Erupting into the bar room to a scattered round of applause as you make your way over to the, I think it was a set of animated armor that you placed the bet with.
I did.
It looks at you, bloodied, scratched. Durnan glowering silently at each one of you as you make your way into the tap room, rolling his eyes, but also giving a very curt nod of satisfaction to see that you have each returned alive thus far. As you let him know that the others are coming and you make your way over to the animated armor here, it looks at you, nods, clanking, and then removes its own helmet, shaking it like a piggy bank for a moment until 2 gold pieces fall out.
All right.
Gentle
That
Thing.
was awesome.
Gentle Thing having won her bet. Saya, Ruzak, the only ones left down here. Who's next?
Saya points at Ruzak. It's like, come on.
Ruzak just returned from grabbing dinner, so he'll go up next.
Very good. Ruzak drawn up to the top of the bucket, leaving Saya down here alone for a brief moment. In the treacherous darkness of Undermountain, the sand around your ankles, the shields upon the wall. I assume you also make the trip back up?
Yep, if I can.
You certainly can, although Saya, make me a perception check.
Okay. I want to use my advantage for this.
Yeah, do it for fun.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
Ruzak's last day, yeah.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
With a 19, you can hear a faint tremoring in the hallway to your west. And a deep, metallic voice that seems to be intoning the words of a spell, although not any that you recognize.
I get very nervous, and I'm considering just climbing up the wall without waiting for the bucket.
What would you like to do?
Hmm?
What would you like to do?
I can't understand what it's saying, and it's coming from west of me, or is it coming from southwest? Like, can I hear it
Southwest.
coming up the hall?
Yes, you can hear something coming up the hallway.
Okay.
Tremoring footsteps, the sounds of almost spell casting.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Saya's gonna be like, nope. Nope. No. No. Nope. 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 And she's going to start climbing up.
You got it, Saya, with your climb speed. It takes a moment. The bucket making its way back down before you make it up. Make me one final perception check at disadvantage as you go fleeing toward the direction of the light above. With the 17, very briefly, you see this tremendous creature beginning to round the corner toward you. Its hands in front of it moving through the complicated motions of a spell. That booming voice coming from the empty mask. Similarly, creating the words of, again, no spell that you recognize. Are you proficient in Arcana?
Sadly, I am not.
Very good. Not a spell you recognize for certain, though. And as you go rushing your way back up into the tap room above, Durnan has just finished bringing the bucket back down. He looks toward you with irritation and says, "Well, you still owe me a gold piece for transportation."
And as soon as Saya will come up, she's actually going to try and disguise that fear, and following Ruzak's advice, stand up triumphantly. He's like, ta-da! I can climb up by myself.
There's a very smattering of applause as you hear what is an argument break out somewhere nearby the bar, as you hear a couple of gnomes squabbling over the fact that you technically didn't come back up in the bucket, which means that, you know, that invalidates the whole bet, right? Very good. As Fang once again reemerges here within the tap room of the Yawning Portal, a little bit worse for wear. I'm not sure if you obtained any loot during that encounter, but you have certainly survived your first foray into Undermountain now.
Yeah, Saya would, after she catches her breath, theoretically, I suppose, she's going to look towards her party mates and just say, "Giant suit of armor had appeared from behind a hall, casting some kind of spell. I was not standing around long enough to find out what it was going to do. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a chicken in that front."
I knew we should have gone for the rat purse.
You know, at this point, the rat purse actually sounds better, but we need to. I don't know.
Hey, we technically did buy time. We did do a scout. This was more of a scouting mission, right? So we did do prep. We could just chill out for a day and rat purse.
Really, the rat purse? I mean, I'm all for it, but perhaps we should, now knowing we have a bunch of random goblins down there, find methods of taking care of them.
Oh, by the way, they were from, and Gobs will try and will whisper this. They were from the Xanathar's Guild.
Okay. Perhaps we should not mention that anymore then.
Yeah. But something, I don't know if they were totally, them. I feel like that staff was doing something to them.
As far as I'm concerned, they were just screaming at each other. As she imitates their screaming. And, I did not catch a single thing they said. Did the bugbears ever speak in common? Were they, like, ogling over her in Goblin?
Oh, they were them speaking to you in common, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so cool. And she's gonna look at her hands that she used to touch the bugbears. It's like, I need to wash this like 50 times.
Oh yeah.
I find that mildly offensive.
Saya, I have a question. How did the potion taste when I gave it to you?
It tasted a bit like oil, like burnt oil. Maybe consider adding in some kind of flavoring. Menthol, cinnamon, cloves.
Menthol?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that was so funny.
Oh.
Is that going in quotes?
By the way, while we were running for our life, I finally decided on a name for the thing. For my potions. I'm gonna call them Chaos Wizard. Because I have no idea what the hell is gonna happen when I make them.
Okay, cool. Chaos Wizard. The brews of Chaos Wizard. They need menthol.
It's a bit much.
Oh, what's our plan? I'm happy to find some more preparations. I can look into grabbing my own mundane preparations, acid vials, maybe a couple of basic things, slightly better armor, maybe armor at all.
If anyone has any items they want me to examine magically, I can do that now.
I don't really have anything to examine. And she looks at her wand. She looks at her the longbow that's still kind of strewn over her shoulder, and she's gonna like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I still have this on me. I'll worry about it later." And she looks to you all and just says, "We did get something done, and as you said, this was a scouting mission. I'm down for helping you out with whatever. I still have a bit of kick left in me before needing to relax for the evening."
Like, I would. After the potion I made, I am not in tip-top shape, but I'm pretty good shape.
I'm doing pretty good.
I am out of stronger magic for the moment, but I don't think I don't think that should be a problem.
What would the party like to do?
I think we should spend some time recuperating.
All right.
I concur with that.
Do we want to go back down tomorrow? Do we want to go back down later?
Okay. Weird thing. Because I know we're gonna probably be brought back, but I feel like we need to be open if we have any, like, regrets or something, because I feel like there might be a real possibility if we, at some point down there, we could die and we will not be able to be resurrected.
You want us to speak about our regrets?
I guess anything anyone's willing to share. Because that was close multiple times, and that was just the first level, and we weren't even really fighting, really.
Oh, we didn't realize all the dangers that were out there. We just very quickly got surrounded, and we weren't best prepared for a fight. Could have been worse, though. I think many things could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If you're asking for a regret, and she's going to spend a moment in thought about this. I haven't figured out the truth yet. Between me and an old friend. I haven't lived life to the fullest. You know, I haven't seen or heard of my parents. I guess those are regrets.
I think one of my regrets is I haven't since my dad disappeared 10 years ago, right before I joined Fang Gang, I have not seen or spoken with my mom. I want to again, but I don't know if I'd ever get the chance.
You see Saya looking at you sympathetically and kind of nudges a bit closer to you in the chair, shaking your shoulder. It's like, perhaps you will someday.
Oh, also, Bird, come to me!
As the majestic falcon manifests out of the mid-air, screeching down onto your shoulder, lifting you up and slamming you into the table like prey.
I think that would be a regret, buying one of those things.
I didn't
perhaps.
buy it. I won it, and they said I couldn't give it back.
You won it?
I beat someone at chess, and they just gave it to me. And I before I could say anything, they just left. I don't know. This thing has just been doing.
As it does its best to rip off one of Gob's large floppy ears.
I regret convincing you all to go to Neverwinter.
What happened in Neverwinter?
We died.
You died.
This is, yeah. It's where we got in debt. That's where, let's just say, Goldblade gave us a loan on life.
Well, on that incredibly lighthearted note, I think I'm gonna head up to my room for a minute.
Uzak.
Already?
Oh.
The day's still young.
One last thing. Ruzak, are you like okay? Because you were before earlier today, you were gone a little longer than normal.
Ruzak's fine.
I was visiting an old friend, nothing more.
All
I'm more
right.
worried about what you do with your free time than what I do.
With that remark, Ruzak, you drain your drink and you make your way up into the privacy of your room upstairs. As you close the door behind you, the window still open, an early spring breeze blowing through it. What would you like to do?
What floor am I on?
Second floor.
Ruzak, as he enters his room, begins to tie the... It is a 2-bedroom, because it was him and Gobs. He begins to tie the 2 bed sheets together to form a rope, and tosses them over the balcony to begin to scale down the side of the building.
Sure, make an acrobatics check. The 13, someone as nimble as yourself, despite being as heavy as you are, it strains the sheets a little bit, but you descend safely, tying up the improvised rope and folding it so that it will not be seen dangling from your balcony.
And he begins heading to the poorer side of the city, to where his family stays. I assume they haven't moved yet, since I gave them the money to move, like, yesterday.
Very likely not. As you make your way, banging on the door of the small hovel, almost immediately you hear the voice of your younger brother saying, "No one's home! We don't want any! Get out!"
I'm gonna pick the lock.
The moment that you begin to pick the lock, the door flies open. He goes, "Ruzak, is that you? Why, you should have just said something."
Is everyone here?
He looks around. Is everyone here, Ruzak?
I'd say that everybody except for the second brother is here, because the second brother is out doing small jobs for pennies, but
Indeed.
they know where he works.
You see your family's home as it always has been. Your mother darning socks with her claws as she sits up in bed, immediately giving you giving a slight cough and a salutation. You can smell whatever's currently cooking in the pot upon the open flame. Always the same stew that's been there for as long as you cohabitated with your family. A little bit of this, a little bit of that added in whenever mass is needed. It looks like home to you.
All right, this is going to be interesting for me to say, but remember when I took that trip from the city for a while?
Your mother looks toward you and says, "You mean when you went down to Neverwinter in order to try and apprentice as a glassblower?"
Yeah, so I got into a bit of debt in Neverwinter. To not so kind of people, but I figured it out, and I built up some money, and change of plans. I'm not gonna move you guys out to the farm ward. I got a buddy who just came back. He's got his own ship. I think it's best if we leave Waterdeep.
The questions are many. Your mother, under her steely gaze, interrogates you for hours that evening about the nature of what you've really been doing. Who this Gold Blood character is, who are these people you've been running around with? Is that how you've been getting those scars? You get, well, I wouldn't say the ass whooping of your life, but definitely the chewing out of your entire life as your younger brother oohs and ahs in all the right places. You died? Like, you died and came back? I thought you just didn't like us.
Well, that too.
That's
but
awesome. What's it like?
honestly, didn't even realize it until I was back.
Well, that's spooky. Maybe you should get right with, like, one of the gods in this world. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, well,
But
hopefully I'll have time enough for that.
ultimately, you were able to convince your family that between threats of guild warfare and between the perpetual skullduggery and avarice that runs within the city, you're able to convince them that with the money that you've saved, you could provide them a better life somewhere else. Where is it, Ruzak? Who's this guy you know? What's your plan?
So I'm gonna pay a small fee to get a cart to carry the kids and my mom.
As you wheelbarrow an entire family of bugbears down the road in Waterdeep, not nearly the weirdest thing on the streets right now.
I don't know, a proper cart, horse and carriage.
You got it. You got it.
Would you be
Go
able-
for it.
I would. Gobs would probably sense that something is up with Ruzak, and
Yeah, it's been a few hours at this point.
yeah, like at the I think tavern, he would realize something's up, and I will like to attempt a sleight of hand to pocket some money into Ruzak as pockets as he's getting up.
It's far too late for that. I'm sorry. It's been
All right.
hours since this event. Ruzak.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So as we're traveling to the dock ward, still being pestered with questions, we picked up the other brother along the way.
In coal soot as he has been sweeping forges in a dwarven smithy all day.
And I am currently not following with the family. The family is heading to the dock ward. I've left the oldest brother in charge of protection.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my hood up, and I'm darting between the alleys, trying to lose any eyes that might be on me. And I take a very roundabout way to the dock ward to meet up with Finrus Wiseman, who is a halfling fellow who grew up in Waterdeep and got into it real bad with some of the other gangs. And Ruzak at one point helped get him out of a very bad spot. And a couple of days ago, Ruzak received a letter that he was back in Waterdeep. And in the few years since he's been gone, he's become a trader.
Trader.
Trader with a D.
Gotcha. Very good. Fenris, looking at you from across the plush desk in his office here in the dock ward, a very large shipping warehouse all around you. He grins at you with that singular front gold tooth amidst a set of pearly whites, dark gray eyes, rather graying hair as well. You can tell that middle age beginning to creep up on this halfling fellow as he looks toward you with open arms and he says, "Well, Ruzak, I have to say, you're the last person I ever expected to want to turn over a new leaf. Getting ready to give up that life you've been living? Sign on as an honest sailor or something? Or have you come to visit me for other reasons?"
I have come to call in that favor that you promised me.
He
And
leans forward, crossing or folding his hands in front of him, looking rather serious as you say that.
I got into it real bad since you left. Goldblood's got my neck in a vice grip.
He inhales sharply as you speak the name of the tyrant banker of Waterdeep. Just how deep are we talking, Ruzak? I mean, I could give you a loan, but,
I've lost count. Hundreds of thousands.
Oh. You're a lifer then. He's got a mortgage on you.
Look, I've got my family. I need to take care of them. My mom can't work. The kids are too young. I'll pay you as much as I have, but I need to get out of this city. Wherever you know that doesn't have good relations with Waterdeep, it won't extradite me to Goldblood.
He looks at you bewilderingly and says, Ruzak, I mean, I ship up and down the Sword Coast, but where do you expect to be able to go that he can't follow? If he owns you, if he wants you, and he thinks that you're an investment that's worth it, I mean, surely he's got any number of spellcasters and skullduggers that he could employ to find you and bring you back in whatever condition. Are you sure this is the right choice you're making?
Look, I just need to get my family set up somewhere, and then I'll go. I'll go find a life somewhere else.
He agrees to help you, but like he says, he's not sure where you could go beyond the reach of the investment king. What's your plan, Ruzak? He's more than happy to help you with shipment, but where do you intend to take your family? Where do you intend to take yourself?
Ruzak intends to get his family set up just somewhere a distance away from the Sword Coast, a peaceful area. Me, Ryan, is not learned in the world of Faerun as much, but
he looks at you and says, all right, now, it's not the heat that gets you, but the humidity. And normally I wouldn't suggest this with those long curls of yours, but how you feel about Chult this time of year? I got my first shipment headed out for Port Nyanzaru in a couple days. It's a 3-month journey, but if you can make it there, I mean, you're pretty much beyond the reach of any god or king in the Sword Coast. I'll tell you as much, the laws are certainly different. It's a wealthy place, though. It's peaceful, from what I understand. I haven't been myself.
would a few hundred gold be enough to get started there?
He looks at you and he says, keep your gold. I owe you a debt as it stands, and Ruzak, you know I'd never let anything happen to you and yours. Just listen. Be at the docks tomorrow morning. There's a ship leaving called the Fair Maiden. It's one of mine. Tell him I sent you. I'll make sure that the first mate will know that he's going to be having a few other passengers on this voyage.
Thank you, truly.
He looks at you and he says, I'm not sure if you should be thanking me. Might as well be sending you to your death like this. I don't think that's a debt you get to walk away from, Ruzak, but if you want to try, I'm willing to help.
My fate was sealed years ago. My family's does not deserve to be.
He looks toward you, shakes it, and extends his tiny halfling hand in order to shake your enormous paw.
I do, and then I return out to where my family is. I let them know the plan, and I'm going to get them set up in the nearest inn in the dock ward for the night.
Very good. As you manage to find a rather rough but safe establishment known as the Skewered Dragon, you are able to get your family a room for the evening. your older brother just sitting up by the door the entire night, sleeping while leaning against it in a chair.
All right, I'll be back.
Where do you go next, Ruzak?
I return to the yawning portal.
Let's see, by this time it is well into the evening. Gentle Fang, would you be standing your normal nightly vigil upon the ceiling or upon the roof of the yawning portal?
Absolutely, dude.
You keep your eyes peeled for the entire evening. Nothing but the lonely figure of the seashell merchant making her way down, picking up odds and ends of the flotsam and jetsam that have flushed their way up onto the city streets. And you see the loping, familiar figure of Ruzak, keeping to the shadows, attempting to stay concealed, but not stealthy enough for the eyes of one such as yourself. You can see him beginning to make his way back toward the window that you know sits adjacent to his inn room.
Pardon?
What?
What?
Did you miss something, Bob? Or
I just heard that adjacent to something, and then I couldn't.
Sorry. Adjacent to Ruzak's inn room. You can see him trying to sneak back in through the window that he left from.
Has Echo entered my room yet?
Echo has indeed, and is currently cozy within the burrito blanket fort that you have constructed for her yet again.
I think I would walk on the roof over so that way I'm looking down above where he's climbing up to his inn room and kind of give a little psst.
As I'm climbing up the bedsheet rope, I just look up questioningly at Gentle Thing.
I will cock my head to the roof.
I'll sign 5 minutes.
Gentle Thing will shake her head no and stomp her foot.
Fine. I'll climb up into the room. I will, as best I can, put the bed sheets back where they were, and then I'll head up to the roof.
As you go in, Gob is just staring, holding the crossbow, waiting. What happened?
Oh yeah, you share a room with Gobs.
Alright, you've got me. I have a secret lover. I've been sneaking out to see her more recently.
Oh, her. Oh, that's the surprising part. Oh. Oh. Alright. You get some rest. I'll watch tonight.
Thank you. I'm gonna go back down and get something to drink. And then I go up to the roof.
Just pulls himself straight up off the balcony onto the roof. Gentle Thing waiting for you, her tail twitching in annoyance.
Do I just hear them like climbing on the side of the building?
Probably so.
Gobs will try and climb his way up.
You're 2 feet tall.
Yeah. And I can
I
climb
actually
up like...
have a climbing speed. I can climb.
Make an athletics check, guys.
18.
With an 18, with the sharp little goblin claws, you manage to scrabble your way onto the roof after Ruzak and Gentle Thing.
Yeah.
I start communicating in Thieves' Cant.
Yeah, Gentle Thing will Thieves' Cant to Ruzak followed.
Speak where I can understand you, or I make the rock smell worse. No point of hiding anything at this point. At least not from us.
If I tell you this, I need you to be quiet about it.
If it's that important, I will. And I mean it this time.
All of my free time I spend visiting my family. I have 3 siblings and a sick mother. I've been the only one there to take care of them for years. And an old friend of mine just came to town. He's got a ship. He owes me a favor. He's getting us out of Waterdeep.
When are they getting out of Waterdeep?
First light. I couldn't tell you guys this because you know who has ears everywhere.
Okay. And that, I feel like at bare minimum you have to tell Echo at least something.
Well, I'd planned on leaving a letter.
We deserve more than that. Echo deserves more than that.
You're probably right. Gentle thing, do you want to go down and fetch her? I don't feel like telling this story twice.
Gentle thing nods and will climb down, and Echo probably is already in her like true form, so I feel like I would de-pillow the pillowcase and put her in it, and then carry her up like a Santa sack.
Very good. As you make a pillow shift for Echo, she reminds you, I'm perfectly capable of walking on my own, and climbing, I suppose. She clambers up onto the roof, chilly cross breeze sweeping past her changeling ankles. What's all this about, then?
I can't stay here anymore.
Well, where are we going?
And I can't bring you guys with us. Every time I go off on my own for a while, I'm visiting my family. I have family here. I've kept them a secret for safety reasons. But I'm the only one who's there to take care of them. And with gold blood hanging over my neck, I may have lost that ability. A friend of mine just came back into town. He owes me a favor. He owns his own ship, and he's going to help us get off the grid for a while. I'm going to try and start another life somewhere else. And I know Goldblood will probably chase me down, but at least if I can get my family set up. I wanted to give you all better notice, but Goldblood has ears everywhere.
I feel like Gentle Thing wouldn't be surprised, considering she kind of like knows that you go to see your family. But she would be a little heartbroken in that you're kind of the only family she has.
can see in Ruzak's body language the reticence and maybe even the regret, but also the resolve.
I've spent the past few years, hell, almost the past decade, with you all, and I've done my best to prepare you for this kind of scenario. I think you're all ready. And I do
Well-
wish things could be different.
I um you know, it's it's kind of funny, isn't it? Remember when we first agreed to do Fang Gang? It was on a night very similar to this, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Look, if I can find some way to get this trouble out of my head, I'll come back, but I can't resign my family to a life of back streets and scrambling for coppers to keep up with my debt. I mean, hell, we almost got killed twice today, and we came back with one more gold than we left with.
What do you mean we?
So, I suppose, is there a chance that I could be part of this? I know I was asking that in chat, but I'm still just like,
I think you got your answer already. You can hear Ruzak's
Yeah, you-
voice when you open the window.
You look at the stars a lot. You're outside.
Yeah. And you hear Ruzak's low whisper mumble.
I just hear his whisper mumble.
Yeah.
And I start climbing out the window, and I'm just kind of sitting beside that window. I'm not invading the space. I know that he knew them far longer than I ever knew them, and so I'm giving them space, but I am listening.
Um,
I can't say I'm trying to hide my movement, though. Pretty sure you could hear me.
Ooh, let me roll to see if I know that you're there. What would I roll, Ben?
Perception.
Perception? I want to roll for it. I don't know you're there. I'm too busy staring at Ruzak.
Do I have to make a stealth check then? I wasn't trying to be stealthy.
You can make one for fun.
Nah,
Probably you're
that's
gonna
fair.
beat an 11.
I mean, I don't have proficiency in it, and I only have a +2, so. Let's do it. Why not? We're Fang Gang.
Do it, do it, do it! Oh yeah, you kicked my ass.
And besides, I mean, Gentle Thing's basically already me.
Gentle Thing shakes her head no. She says, I couldn't even rob an elderly lady with a really sweet purse.
Well, that's because she was an orc.
And a very strong boxer.
And then it kind of comes to picture like, oh, that's why she came back bruised.
What should we do if Golda tries to use us to get to you?
That's exactly why I can't tell you all where I'm going.
Alright. I wanna
Even if he uses magic to try and force you to tell the truth, you truly won't know where I am. But I'll know where you all are, and if I think it's safe, perhaps I'll come visit at some point.
Um, what are we gonna do though? You were the leader. Now you're leaving.
The famous groups don't really have a leader, do they? I think you guys will make Fang Gang a known name around the continent. I'm alright not being a part of that.
You'll hear a knock at the window inside. It's just like, can I come in?
Sure.
Ruzak just waves you in.
Can't say I heard all of the conversation, but I did hear part of it.
And I trust you to keep your mouth shut for a while. Otherwise, I'll have to kill you.
Like I had any intention of ratting any of you guys out. You guys have saved me more times in the past few days than anyone else has in my entire life. Well, most anyone else. I won't say anything. All I'd ask of you is that you find a nice, safe place for you and this family of yours.
I'll certainly try. What do you say we get one last drink together?
Hell, you know what? I'll buy him. And then she walks towards the door and triumphantly opens it. It's like, come on, drinks are on me, Fang Gang.
And I will begin to head down to the bar.
As the party makes their way back into the tap room of the Yawning Portal for the last time in each other's company, the libations flow as freely as the conversation for the remainder of the evening. Yet, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And nothing will change that. I think that we'll end the session here for the evening, guys. Thank you so much.
Ah.